And we are live. Hello, everybody. Happy Monday night. Welcome into the Living Force. As always, we got a fun, kind of chill show tonight. We got some High Republic news we're going to talk about. We have some patron shout-outs, some huge Patreon news in that regard. It's going to get a little sappy. It's going to get a little sentimental. And it is the return of Eric's stupid game of the week. So before all that happens, Wes, I need a favor from you. If you choose to accept it, you need to punch it. Welcome to the Living Force. That theme music still gets me hyped. I'm not even gonna lie about it. I am one of your hosts, Eric Eilerson, and joining me tonight, after weeks of feeling empty, of feeling like I was missing something, we are whole once more. We have both doctors. We have Dr. Corey Helton. Hey, buddy.
What's up? What's up? Good to see you guys.
Good to see you. I want to hear you when you're another week with that sexy mic.
Sexy mic. It looks good. I have it tilted. Look at that new angle. It's tilted now. Man, this is the show's never going to be the same.
See, audio listeners, don't you miss out on so much without the video. We also have Dr. Charles Hankel. Welcome back, buddy.
Hello there. Thank you. I'm wondering why my mic doesn't look as good because I'm pretty sure we have the same one.
It's lighting.
It's because you look better.
It's on the angles.
It's relative.
That's right.
Yeah,
yeah,
you're
exactly.
Prettier.
Exactly.
Yeah. But speaking of prettiest, Wes Jenkins is here. Hey, hello.
Thank you, Eric.
Hello.
I've had this mic for years. It's a real snow cone and it tastes good sometimes.
Well, looks good. We're feeling good. And everyone in the chat, you know what? You're looking good. Hey, yeah, you. Hi. Quick shout outs to a couple people in there. We got Jared's hanging out with us. We got Heather. We got Meg. We got Cheryl. We got Eli. We got Spice Den. And I'm scrolling. We got John Dutch Vander. Hi, everybody. So happy to have you here. And if you're listening on Thursday or Friday, I'm playing Cyberpunk. So that's my week. If you're listening there. But thank you for tuning into the show. We have a lot of good Star Wars talk for you tonight. But I want to start out with some thank yous in this intro. I don't know if you all saw, but this past week, a lot of people were putting together their Spotify Wrapped lists. I don't know if you all seen this, the end of year, like what artist did I listen to? What podcast did I listen to? Spotify makes like these cool little graphics for you. And a couple people had the Living Force on their lists. And that was just really cool to see.
Yeah, that was neat.
Yeah. And I love that. And we went in. It took us 5 days to find our login for our Spotify, but we found it. And we found our rap stats. So I wanted to go through a couple with y'all. Our listeners grew most in the United Kingdom. Shout out to everyone from across the pond. We grew by 999% in the UK. I'm not even kidding. That's a real stat.
Why is it 90? Why is it 99%? How is that possible?
I don't know, math. It's math possible.
Quick math.
You know.
We went from one listener in the UK to 9 listeners. 900% gain. Boom.
Absolutely. And the 8 of you that joined, we love you.
That's
Cheerio.
right. That's right. Cheerio.
Other fun stats.
Do people actually say Cheerio, by the way? Is that real?
I don't know. I was trying to go past it to avoid the dumb joke I made. But you just brought us right back around.
I want to know. When we asked Trevor, does Trevor, do you say Cheerio? We need to ask. I want to know.
Trevor. Or if you listen to the most recent Star Wars Archives episode, Trev, his preferred name to go by. We've known him for 2 years. Never said that to us. You learn something new every day.
Wow.
We, according to Spotify as well, we were listened to in 32 countries.
Wow.
Which is incredible. Doesn't even count the Apple Podcasts or Stitcher or anything like that.
That's
so
right. This is just Spotify.
Yep. Our follower count increased by 231%. And we put out 3,552 minutes of Spotify content for this show, not counting any of the Patreon shows.
Wow. Wait, how is that?
So
Is
happy
that,
2020.
Is that real? 3,000? All right, I want to do the math right now. All right.
How many hours is that? And then how many days?
3,552 divided by
51 episodes.
60 is 59 hours. So that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That's a lot.
So thank you all for being part of that. We love seeing those again. If you haven't put up your Spotify things yet, go to Spotify Wrapped. Tag us. We love it.
Do you guys use Spotify for any podcasts? I've never have. I don't know why. Like, there's a lot of podcasts on there. It's honestly, it'd probably be a little more convenient even than the like Apple app. So I don't know.
Let's see. At the risk of alienating anyone that wants to listen anywhere, I listen to all of them, and they're all great.
Oh my
all
God.
Right.
I still hang around with Apple Podcasts at the moment, but
I do too.
I mean, considering a lot of podcasts are moving to Spotify, and then if you listen to Spotify in any sense on the free version, you'll know that you'll eventually pay for it.
Yes.
To get away from all the ads, and
That's
once
right.
you pay for it, I'm sure you want to use it more, and then there go all your podcasts.
That's true.
Yeah. But if you're on our Patreon, you get the RSS feed, and you can listen anywhere you want ad-free.
That's right. That's right.
That's really how it works.
Except
so
for
thank you all
except
for
for
that.
our ads for ourselves and for me, you know.
That's true.
We force you
do
to
have
listen
ads
to
on our
those.
Patreon for those people. Another shout out I want to give, though, in addition to all of our Spotify listeners whom we love, our video team, who, if you have been living under a rock, we do have an awesome video team that's on the Youtini YouTube channel. They've been putting out video after video. Just today, Nathan dropped a Dark Trooper history video that goes into the history of the Dark Troopers and Legends. Freaking awesome stuff. This week, they hit 500 subscribers on the YouTube channel.
They did.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
That's pretty good in 6 months.
Dang.
It's only been 6 months. Like, we launched the YouTube channel literally only 6 months ago. So it's pretty good for an incredibly saturated market.
Yeah, and I know
very
that some
good.
people watch like the Star Wars Weekly Roundup on YouTube. I know some people watch this very show on YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube right now, thank you. And if you're not subscribed, hit subscribe, click the bell to get notifications so you know when we put up new content.
Yeah, and if you're bored with your drinks that you've been snagging or from getting at the liquor store, the Cantina Comics teaches you how to get drunk newly every week.
Every week.
That's a good one.
That's
They
exactly
do.
it.
They do indeed. I was gonna tell you, I pulled up the Cantina Comics video in a different tab yesterday while I was doing all this Youtini work at the on my call last night between patients, and I binge watched all of them. They were great. I was like two or three of the episodes behind, but I just started over and just watched them all because they're so good.
You binge what? You binge what while watching Cantina
I
Comics?
binge drink while at work at the hospital.
There it is.
I'm not
This
telling
is the
you where I
video
work.
officer right here. This is it. But yes, if you love that intro voice on this podcast, and you've just listened to our audio for the last couple of years, one, we love you, thank you. But two, Matt and his amazing wife do that Cantina of Comics show all the time, where you get a mixed drink and you get Star Wars comic news over on the YouTube channel. So here's to the next 500 subscribers. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out there. Another little bit of intro business today. We got a lot of intro business because we're just having fun. This week, we welcome 2 new Youtini team members. Kristen Sharkey and Emily Dabick. I didn't ask before I put them in the outline.
Daybeck.
I'm terrible. What was it?
Daybeck. Emily Daybeck.
Daybeck.
Yeah.
Kristen and Emily. We brought them on to the team. They will be doing various things that you all will see soon. Kristen is going to be part of a new show that will be coming to your feeds in 2021. So stay tuned for information about that. And Corey, you and Emily go back a ways.
We do go back a ways. Emily and her husband Mike were some of our good friends, lived across the hall from us when I was in medical school, and they were actually they were the only people that I ever conned into helping us pack all those books into boxes back when we were still shipping books. Like, they would come over, we'd order a pizza and drink some beer and all this kind of stuff, and we basically kept telling them, listen, you got to read a Star Wars book. You got to read a Star Wars book. And Emily said she finally caved. And I gave her a copy of Lost Stars, and she's been kind of hooked ever since. So we've been going back and forth about Star Wars for like I guess about a year and a half now, and she asked me last week if we needed any help with stuff. We definitely do, so that's really cool. Welcome to the team, Emily. Super happy to have you. I think you deserve to be here, and we'll see where it goes. And it goes for everybody listening. You know, if you have skills and talents and you want to volunteer to do some extra cool stuff with us, then shoot me an email. It's Corey@Youtini.com. That's how we launched this team in the first place. Eric, you were the first person to email me all that time ago. It feels like a lifetime ago now, by the way, dude.
Seriously, dude.
That's crazy.
That's like 3 apartments ago for me. Like, legit,
wow.
I think.
Crazy.
3 apartments, 4 microphones, 2 cats. Yeah. But we love this team. The team is growing, and stay tuned for all their new input.
You know, and since we're talking about the old days too, I wanted to bring this up to you guys, and Wes, you specifically. The other day when we were trying to get together for a bounty hunt, I guess that was like 2 weeks ago or something, and we couldn't get a hold of you in Slack. I found your phone number from your resume and stuff that you sent me ages ago. So I found the original email you sent me like all that time ago. I like reread. I'm like, man, this is so weird rereading all this stuff after we've worked together for all this time, because it's like it's so professional, and I'm like, you're nothing like that in real life, Wes.
This gets all that shit's a lie. That's why.
Oh man.
If only you knew back then what we knew now.
It really made me happy.
I love that. And a quick plug, if you want to see a bunch of team members from both the old days and the new days at the end of this month, the 28th, the Youtini Christmas party. We're going to have a bunch of team members on the live show. So plug for that. It's going to be a rollicking good time, and the Force only knows what will happen. Speaking of crazy things that happen at holiday parties, though, Patreon update. If you missed our announcement recently, we had a Patreon goal where Corey has to read his fabled, favorite, hated book, Jedi. And that is going to be happening Friday, January 8th, 2021. So just a reminder that is upcoming. And the reason I wanted to bring this up specifically on this show is because we had a great week in Patreon this week, just straight up. We got a lot of people that signed up for new pledges. We had people that did annual memberships, which we'll talk about in a second. But guys, we're working on the logistics for our Patreon goal right now. That's what iJedi was. That hasn't happened yet. And we are already less than $20 a month away from our next Patreon goal.
This is crazy.
Which is, it defies description and thanks. Like, to be completely honest, we love making content for you all. And the fact that we kind of can't keep up with how generous our patrons are is astonishing to me.
Yeah.
But we'll try. So if you are thinking in 2021, I'm going to join Patreon, and you want to be part of the next batch, less than $20 a month away from the goal, it will be a Phantom Menace film commentary. Now, that is going to be something that we will probably do live. We'll do a live watch of the movie and do active commentary, but we'll also record it in an audio format and give it to our patrons, so you can essentially, whenever you want, watch the movie, load us up at the same time, and just kind of watch it with us virtually anytime you want. So that is that's next. I remember when that was a pipe dream.
We've never done a film commentary before.
No, we have not.
I have no idea what that will be like. I imagine it will be emotional and explosive and violent, maybe.
Wow, really hyping it up, man.
I'm imagining that there were probably alcohol involved, which means that it will be pretty intense. So I'm excited.
I foresee us commenting on like the first 3 scenes and then just going off on a wild tangent for the next hour and a half.
All right. Sure. I gotta pause. Everybody pause with me. Everybody pause the movie with me. I'm sorry. I know you're supposed to be able to watch at the same time, but we have to discuss this random thing.
Oh my God, what a nightmare.
Why is Greedo in the film? Someone tell me. Why?
Well, hey, if you like that little sneak peek, Youtini.com/Patreon, Patreon.com/Youtini. And a shout out now to a couple people that became annual patrons. If you don't know about this, if you sign up for our Patreon by December 31st of this year and commit to 12 months of Patreon, which is a lot, we acknowledge that, you get 12 months of Patreon membership for the price of 10. So whatever level you choose, you get 2 free months. And we want to shout out Amy Fogel, The Spice Den, Elizabeth Cloutier, Carl Sander, and Ashley, or Kylo 10, for taking advantage of that this week and becoming annual patrons to the Youtini and the Living Force. It really helps us honestly plan our content for the next year because we know that we have certain resources we can allocate to things 12 months ahead. So thank you all so much. And if you want to do that at the time of recording, you got a couple weeks left to do that and maybe get some Phantom Menace in your life coming up in the spring.
That's right.
All right.
Also want to point out that Carl is a team member and also became an annual patron. So, the rest of you teammates, feel free to give us money. That'd be great. I would like for you to both work for us and give us money. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, the best possible economic and healthy work structure.
That's
We're
right.
all fine here. How are you?
That's right. Carl, once again, proving he's the best team member. That's all I got to say.
Oh, yeah. Carl is the only team member that has bought multiple other team members a beer.
That's right.
Real
He
life.
has.
That's true.
I just want to say that Carl came and saw my shows 2 years ago when I was in plays on his island, and he bought all the drinks that
On
we
his
had when we
island.
went out.
He's like that.
unasked.
He's like that guy in Braveheart. He's like, this is my island.
That's exactly it.
That's what he is.
He's got the beard to prove it. If you've seen Carl
Exactly.
recently.
Exactly.
Now we have our recurring segment that I'm actually really enjoying lately. Not that I don't enjoy the rest of the show, but this is our Star Wars weekly roundup. We're going to go through the weekly book news that we had from Star Wars. No book review this week, no reference books. Others are coming on their way. I've been emailing a couple publishers this week, so stay tuned for that. But we just got some news this week. First of all, Light of the Jedi by Charles Soule is perhaps the most anticipated book of the year, starting out the High Republic. And it was announced this week that Out of Print, the company that produced the Thrawn Ascendancy Chaos Rising Special Edition and other cool book-related things, will be putting out an exclusive edition of Light of the Jedi with an amazing cover by Yama Urabev. Corey, I believe we have the image, if you want to throw that up here.
We do.
Of the new Light of the Jedi cover. This is the same artist. Oh my God, it's incredible.
Yeah, it looks
same artist
nuts,
that
dude.
drew them. Yeah, that drew the Master and Apprentice con exclusive cover. If anyone has that, but just
Which
look
is like
at
my
how
favorite
amazing
one
this
ever.
is.
Yeah.
Yes, that Master and Apprentice one.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite one I have too. I'm not usually huge about trying to collect the like special ones, but the Master and Apprentice one looks fantastic. This one looks really fantastic too, and this is just what the image looks like, which is really rad. But isn't it gonna have like something on the hardcovers or something too? I think I don't know. I feel like I saw that. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think it's just this particular dust jacket that has literally. If you're listening to the audio right now and you haven't seen this cover, it is the Jedi and the Nihil riding towards each other on like space horses with lightsabers, like they're Knights of the Round Table.
Oh my
It
god.
is truly epic.
It looks
And then the
sick.
doggo running in, acting like he's gonna make a big difference.
I know.
Just like Coda would do.
Dude, look at the teeth on that
Absolutely.
thing though, man. Maybe
yeah.
it does.
Very scary. But also the chat is lighting up to let me know that you do not only get this book cover if you order from Out of Print, you also get High Republic socks. I kid you not. They are socks with the Jedi logo, and they say we are all the Republic.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, talk about the Thigh Republic. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
in all
yeah,
seriousness,
buddy.
In all seriousness, we need to recreate this cover with us in there, and then just Morden charging in.
That's right. I agree
That would be
100%.
incredible. Also, a quick side note on this cover, you also get a lapel pin with the Jedi thing. So for our pin collectors, when they did this Master and Apprentice cover, which I will hold up now, this guy from Celebration last year, again, double-sided, just like Light of the Jedi will be. It came with a Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan pin, which is really awesome. This one comes with the Jedi pin. So that will be released on January 5th. Again, we don't get any money from this. We don't have an affiliate link for the Out of Print site, but we just think it's rad. And it will be, every copy will be signed by Charles Soule, and they have said there will be multiple thousands of copies. So it won't be as exclusive as the Thrawn cover, but maybe set a reminder for yourself on January 5th if you want to pick that up. Another cool thing we got this week, we knew that Kevin Scott was writing the second adult novel in the High Republic. That got announced a little while ago. But this week, we got the title and the cover image. Corey, if you want to throw that up here. This summer, we get The Rising Storm, which will be the second adult novel in the High Republic by Kevin Scott. It's July 6th, 2021. So a much smaller window to wait than we had originally thought, honestly, probably because of the COVID stuff. And from the press release, I wanted to read something to you guys about it. Although not a direct sequel, Scott says his story will add to the events in Soul's novel, the first in a series of books and comics for the High Republic. Quote, "The Rising Storm sees the Nile taking their reign of terror to the next level, building on their appearances in light of the Jedi and beyond," Scott says. Standing in their way this time are newly elevated Jedi Council member Stellan Gios, along with Padawan Bel Zedifer and an intriguing new character, the Saber for Hire Ty Yorick, who I've had a blast creating, which is the Jedi, if you're looking at the video on the left. She's got a purple lightsaber. She is a, quote, force-wielding monster hunter.
Oh, what?
Yes.
That is.
So I was excited to reveal that to you. That is what he described her as. She's not a Jedi. She's a saber for hire mercenary monster hunter that uses the Force.
That is amazing. That's like the coolest thing I think I've ever heard. I want that right now.
Yeah. And Cavan is, I don't know, one of the best people in the Star Wars world.
Yeah,
Just
really
period,
cool
I
guy.
think we can all agree on.
Really cool guy. Yeah, that'll be good. What's the date for that one? July of next year?
July 6th.
July 6th. All right. Sweet.
Yep.
Okay.
So we got plenty of time to also read Cavan's comic, The High Republic #1, which comes out in January, and that'll be monthly. And then make sure to pick that up. Pre-order links are on youtini.com right now. Finally, one of the announcements that we talked about last week and want to really get specific about this week is this bad boy right here. Thrawn Ascendancy Chaos Rising, the collector's edition from out of print, which I have held in my hands and am slowly realizing I'm going to have to give away. And that's very sad to me now because this thing is rad as hell. But we mentioned we are giving it away to a lucky listener and or viewer. So starting today, there are tweets going up at the Youtini Twitter account at Youtini_US. There will be 2 tweets a week for the next 3 weeks. So 6 total tweets, right? Follow me on this. Every tweet, you get 3 chances to enter to win this book. If you like, you get an entry. Retweet, entry, and a reply, you get an entry. All these details are in the tweet themselves. And very importantly, you must be following our Twitter account for your entries to count. As of now, we already have, I think, a couple hundred responses to the first tweet. So it's going to be very competitive, frankly, to get this book, as it should be. This thing is gorgeous. It's sold out. Only 750 were made total. It's really cool. So if you want to win this, head over to our Twitter account at Youtini_US. Go to Discord. All the information's where you need. May the Force be with you. And I can't wait to ship this to one of you to say thank you for listening. And Corey, I'm going to put you on the spot. This probably means we're going to do more giveaways in the future for special editions, right? I mean, it seems to be going pretty well.
I mean, I've been saying for a while, I got like 10 copies of iJedi that a bunch of a-holes sent to me in the mail. So I'm happy to give those away.
Well, keep your eyes open, everyone, because, if you want Thrawn Ascendancy Chaos Rising, there's that. But if you really want to elevate your game, get a used paperback copy of iJedi. Oh, hey, a quick shout out in the chat. A really cool thing that I just saw here. Darth Plagueis the Wise, the singular, is in the chat right now and says, quote, "I found the Youtini website yesterday and it changed my life."
That's right.
Well, thank you.
Excellent.
Cool, man.
Well, that's so cool. We're welcome. Welcome to the crew. We're glad we can help out. Hope to hang out with you here. Although right under that, Jared says a heinous thing. Take it out of the plastic live on the show.
What are you, mad?
Why would I do that? It will be in the plastic when it gets to you. We promise. Because I don't know how people collect. Some people take things out of the plastic to read. Some people may put it on the shelf, never to touch. Whatever you want to do with your giveaway winnings, it is completely up to you. And as always, a reminder that if you want not Thrawn Ascendancy, but any of the High Republic books especially, head over to youtini.com, our new releases page, where Frank is arduously hard at work keeping that up to date to make sure you get all your pre-order links you need. And if you click on those and the Amazon links, the thrift book links, whatever they are, Youtini gets a couple cents and helps us keep bringing you really freaking cool content. Whew. All right. On that, before I put us on the spot, Corey, do we have a merch ad queued up?
We do.
Excellent. You see how I checked though? I want to make sure that I didn't make us look weird. But now that I've said that, you see behind the scenes that I don't know everything. But I want to put up a quick merch ad here. Shout out to Jose and our team, Joxy in the Discord. has really continually made amazing things. If you watch the video show, you see his designs on our ads, you see them on the site, on Twitter. Check it out. Go get some cool stuff. The Christmas season and the holiday season is upcoming. Hit this merch ad. When we come back, we're going to have Eric's stupid game of the week. Let's do it. All right, everybody. So, a little behind the scenes on how the Living Force gets made before we do this game. I'm going to show you how the sausage is made, and you may not like what you see. We try to plan out a lot of stuff in advance. A lot of times our shows are planned out for a while. For instance, the rest of December is going to be our From a Certain Point of View Empire Strikes Back episode next week, followed by the Youtini, it's our award show, followed by the Christmas party. That's great. That's grand. Every once in a while, we'll finish a Monday show. We'll be riding high, have a good aftermath. Tuesday will go by. It'll be a nice, easy day. And then Wednesday, we'll go into Slack and be like, we don't have a show for Monday. Interesting. So what I did is I reached out to these losers here, and I was like, hey, guys, Monday, what do we want to do? It's the end of a year. Let's have a nice, relaxing, easy show. And Charles, shout out, came up with 3 ideas instantaneously, which were great. 2 of them I'm not going to tell you because we'll totally do them at some point. But the third one was a what if show. Was just a fun little game where we can say, hey, what if this happened in Star Wars? And just kind of riff, because believe it or not, everyone, we are friends outside of this show. That is
Allegedly.
You're not that good of acting. Well, 3 of us are friends outside of this show. And sometimes we just want to rap with our friends about Star Wars.
3 of us.
So
3 of us.
One of us is the imposter.
I see.
And, someone's looking pretty sus, as the kids say. Dab. So what I've done, I've come up with a couple what if scenarios for you guys. And I just want to go round robin style and ask you guys a couple questions. So the parameters for this game are as follows. 1, if this happened, would it be good for the Star Wars universe? We're talking the morality of the galaxy, right? Would the galaxy be a better place? 2, would this be better for Star Wars, the brand? Would it make the movies better? Or would it make opportunities for books, things like that? Because I truly believe these are the things that the people that create Star Wars have to consider whenever they make a new thing. So we are the story group is what I'm saying. We are that important. We're ascending to that level. Does this sound fun to you guys?
Nope.
Yes.
All right, great. So this has been the Living Force. Welcome.
Directed by George Lucas.
Yeah, I hope they're listening.
All right, so we're gonna start at the top, and also if you're in the chat, I want to hear your opinions on this stuff too, because if you guys haven't been in our Discord, this is kind of what the Discord is. It's a lot of people throwing out their Star Wars opinions and just chatting up all the conversations you wanted to have around the lunch table, but you couldn't because you were a nerd and no one liked you. And you had your sandwiches.
I'm not gonna know a lot of the answers, so I'm gonna
Eric,
steal
snap
from the
out of
chat.
it. Snap out of it.
Okay, I'm back. All right, so the first question is something that a lot of Star Wars fans talk about a lot, is one of the hypotheticals that hasn't been unproven. Guys, what if Mace Windu survived the fall from Palpatine's office? Number 1, is this better for the galaxy at large?
Tough,
What do you
man.
think?
The galaxy. Okay, we're talking like the canon timeline, right? Is it?
Yeah, the canon timeline. Is the galaxy a better place if Mace Windu is alive?
Dude, Mace Windu's a dick. we can't get around that. Like in the last season of Clone Wars, man, he was such a tool bag. Holy crap. Like, I've always disliked Mace Windu as a character. I mean, Samuel Jackson is a king, all right, but
Absolutely,
like,
bow down.
Mace Windu, the worst. I want him to stay dead so hard.
All right, fair. Oh God, in the chat already. Spiced in, please no. Emma, how about no?
He's been demoted to citizen.
Here's the deal. Mace Windu, like I will make an argument, survived. Okay, but no one wanted him to. That's the problem.
The argument point number one: no one ever dies in Star Wars.
Well, and also look at what happened to him. He had his hand cut off. Multiple people have had that happen. They're fine. He fell out a window. People did that on purpose all throughout Star Wars. They're fine. He got hit with like less force lightning than anyone in the history of the films. He's fine. Okay, he survived. Let's be very clear about that. There's no reason those three things in conjunction would kill him if Anakin is still alive. Okay,
sure.
But no one wanted him to, because you're right. Is it a good thing for the universe? For morality, maybe if he changed his ways, but if Mace is going to be Mace, then we might be at critical mass for assholes in Star Wars.
All right.
Yes.
So now I have to stop all three of you.
Let's go. I have said nothing. I have said nothing. But stop me.
I know what you're thinking, and I need to stop all 13 of you in the chat as well.
All right,
First
go
of
ahead,
all-
Astros fan. Tell us about morality.
That was a technicality, and everybody's just upset that we came up with a better idea than everybody else, and y'all have done the same thing too. Now, talking about Star Wars, Mace Windu, as a swordsman, if you will, is incredible. Incredible. And if he could
Vapod,
express,
right? Isn't that it? Vapod? That's his
Vapod.
stance?
I don't know. But
if he could express his inner F word, he would definitely do it.
Yeah.
But he came in and now it's debatable to say whether he was fighting Palpatine and Palpatine let him win, or if just to kind of sway
true.
Anakin to help
Debate
him,
Anakin, sure.
or if Mace actually bested Palpatine and was probably one of the, if not the strongest Jedi swordsmiths that there ever was.
Swordsmith.
Yeah.
So I'm not done. And then
Continue.
I didn't think you were.
now, if you say he's still alive, he would be an asset to the Jedi, would he not?
An ass.
He'd be an ass something, that's for sure.
Ass hat? Is that what you said? Yes, he's certainly one of those.
Now, for the company as a whole, no. It would be a terrible idea to bring back Mace Windu because, as you can tell, everybody hates him, and I do get it. I definitely get why.
Oh, hold on a second. Bad for the brand? I don't know about that.
Wait. We haven't touched the brand yet. I gotta speak my truth.
You asked the
okay.
damn question, Eric. This is your fault.
I know. No, this is what I want. I'm living for this. This is the chaos I imagined.
Swordsmith.
But I think I would say for the universe, I'm gonna go to the chat here a couple times and acknowledge some things. So Warren in 90 says he may have survived the fall, but it would be hard to survive the lower levels of Coruscant without hands, which is true.
He's got one.
Oh my
Does
god.
he have one? Oh yeah, that's right.
he
There's
was,
only one.
he was reaching back
You're
with
right.
his right hand very exaggerated.
You're right.
You're thinking of Dooku.
Right.
And then it got soisted right off of there.
I do think for the universe, it would be. It's hard to argue that it would be bad for one of the most powerful Force users of the light side on the Jedi Council. Like him being alive has to be a good thing for the universe, just kind of as a whole. I think someone that remembers that Palpatine was evil, someone that maybe could help people in the lower levels of Coruscant. Like that'd be cool if he's just like has a repair shop or something. Like he's just hanging out in the lower
Would
levels.
have a repair
A
shop.
repair shop,
know.
Eric.
Or
What is
teaches-
Mace doing if he did survive the fall? That's the question.
teaches
Oh, no,
judo in
He
a-
opens Windu's windows. Like he's clearly just look at all this. But okay, but let's address Wes, what you were starting to get to. For the brand itself, like this could absolutely potentially lead to like a limited comic series about what Mace was up to. He could pop up in any of the other shows. Is that good, or does that whatever he's in, does it take away from the impact of Revenge of the Sith as a property? Does it take away from Anakin's power and Palpatine's power if Mace has been alive this whole time?
I'm like afraid to have opinions about stuff like this right now, because like whenever I'm like,
Good.
no, please don't bring this person back, they always do, and it's supremely disappointing. So I'm just like,
Except for this one time that they did, no spoilers, recently, worked out pretty well.
Yeah, I think here's the weird thing. After saying nobody wants him back, I want him back. I do.
Yeah.
I want him back.
The
I wouldn't
truth.
be mad if he popped up in other brands or other kind of
Other
shows
brands.
in other forms of media. Other brands.
Well, he's in Marvel, so you know.
Yeah, I want Mace Windu in
7-Eleven
everything. We need a little bit more Mace.
Oh
No,
my God,
but
Spiced In somehow. Mace has returned.
the dead speak, mother.
Oh my God. And Emma says that Mace survived. He became an inquisitor hunting down Jedi and demoting them to citizens.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
I don't think it's
hurts
ever
me.
bad for your brand to bring back Sam Jackson. I don't.
That's fair from a business standpoint.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. When they had him at a celebration last year, that was pretty rad.
Yeah. And he's in that Capital One commercial, so it proves he will do anything for a check. So, all
What's
right,
in your
let's,
wallet? It's
keep-
too
let's take a
dangerous to be
break
left
here.
alive.
Let's take let's do another potentially controversial death. What if, and this is just again, we're starting from the universe, Qui-Gon trains Anakin.
Qui-Gon trains Anakin. There's not a saga anymore because he's just a normal Jedi.
You think he's normal?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you
I
know,
think he grows his hair out longer, but other than that, yeah, normal saga.
yeah, probably. I think it would probably be more of the status quo. I think that Qui-Gon probably would have trained Anakin like to be a little more. I think he would have encouraged Anakin's open-mindedness a little bit more in a way that maybe he wouldn't have struggled so much with the turmoil of maybe he's making the wrong decisions about everything. Whereas Obi-Wan was such an incredible mentor, like, you know, he's the Jesus Christ of Star Wars, right?
For a second, I saw you say, and Obi-Wan was, and Charles's video was like, what? He was what? Say it.
He was too good of a role model for Anakin, so it crushed him. The guilt of not being like what he felt like he was supposed to be was too strong. Whereas Qui-Gon was a little more, he was a little less by the book, right?
Yeah, because I actually always thought that if Qui-Gon had survived and he had trained Anakin, I think that Qui-Gon would have actually maybe left the Order with Anakin when the Clone Wars started. Because I think they still would have started anyway. I think Qui-Gon would have been like, this is not the Jedi. You're all, you know, you tried to forbid me from training Anakin. Now you're trying to make everyone soldiers. I think Qui-Gon might have left.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think about that. Yeah, I agree with that. Not
Yeah,
so
I
much
think
them
that
turning
makes
to the
sense.
dark side, just they would just leave the Order.
Maybe. I don't know. Qui-Gon he was in the Order all that time and was pretty anti a lot of the stuff the Jedi were doing, so I don't know. They would have left or not.
If Qui-Gon survived, Anakin would have met none other than Rael Averroes. Okay.
Oh, yeah, buddy. Yeah.
Bring
he
him into the
woulda-
picture because marriage would have been the least of Anakin's worries if he was friends with Rael Averroes.
That's
Oh my God, that would have been great. I could imagine Rael would like see Padme and be like, hey, she's party. And Anakin's like, I mean, I don't know. Like, I've been around as a kid, like, whatever. He's like, she's pretty. She likes you. Listen to the audiobook for Master and Apprentice, by the way, if you're really confused right now. But yeah, I think it would have been an interesting kind of, you know, what gets avoided? Does Darth Vader totally not get created? And then does Palpatine try to like find Maul again and raise him up as a better apprentice?
Well,
Like,
what happened to Maul if Qui-Gon survived, though? Does that mean
I mean,
Qui-Gon
he
won that
already
fight?
got cut in half. I feel like he can't.
But that was before, right? So Obi-Wan wouldn't have had that one-on-one fight with him if Qui-Gon
Right.
survived.
Cuts him in fourths. right up.
Qui-Gon goes vertical.
And then come back from that.
oh my god.
Just a quarter
All right.
body.
All right, so I think we've answered. Is it a good idea for content? No.
Yeah, because there's no Maul in Clone Wars because he's in fourths, and you can only be a spider robot if you're cut in half. That's the rules of Star Wars.
Robot.
Robot. I love that. That's what
all right,
Zoidberg calls him in Futurama.
It's so good. Let's keep the death train going. What if something that we were pretty sure happened up until, I don't know, less than a year ago happened? Palpatine actually died in the second Death Star.
What do you
Like,
mean, what if? That was the case for like 30 years.
Yeah.
I know, but I'm saying as of now, like knowing
As of now,
how it ended.
It wouldn't have been so bad. That's
This question is basically what is your
no.
opinion on the Rise of Skywalker?
No. So that's the content question. I'm talking about the galaxy now. I'm talking about if the First Order maybe didn't have
Palpatine
Palpatine
bad.
backing.
That's my answer. Palpatine bad. If he's around, it is worse for the galaxy.
That's right.
Yes.
All right. That's fair. And I think that also the idea of like if he wasn't manipulating Snoke, then does Ben Solo actually turn to the dark side?
Okay, yeah,
Does
all right,
he
all right.
stay light?
Exactly.
All right, so
Yeah.
so putting aside my opinion that I'm not crazy about Palpatine being back for the Rise of Skywalker.
sure.
All right, it's fine, right? Forget about that. Besides, we already decided we're coming to terms with this. Right? We gotta come to terms with it. Come to terms with it.
I'm fine. I'm happy.
I'm
so
fine.
happy.
It's fine. If I much prefer the story that like Snoke was his own dude, man. Like he was doing some cool stuff. Like that's what I think that's the difference, right? I think the last two films look very, very different in the sequel trilogy if Palpatine had not survived, right? Like they certainly could have spun it that way too. Like maybe kind of like it was in some of the legend stuff with like Palpatine, like you know with the messengers and like his stuff being done even though he's dead and stuff. Like that stuff is pretty cool.
I think though that I'm the one here who is I think the least bothered by some of the story points in the Rise of Skywalker. Go listen to our 3-hour roundtable to confirm what I'm saying. But I will say that Palpatine, I almost feel like he gets in his own way. Okay, he takes things too far. All right, he's already got. Let's just take one example. He's already got Vader as his apprentice. Okay, he's already like tricked him into kind of semi-murdering his wife. Okay, and then he's like, "Oh, hey, your son's here. Kill him too. Kill him too." And Vader's like, "Whoa, dude! Like, hold on." He's like that friend who invites you out, you know, for beers, and then before you know it, you're just like, what is happening? This guy's out of his mind. That's Palpatine, but on a galactic scale. Okay,
If you don't do it in this next shot, you're a little bitch boy. Like that's Palpatine.
Exactly. I mean, it was the same thing in the Rise of Skywalker. He's like in this weird harness. He's like, yeah, like strike me down, and you're like, whoa, hold on, what? Like, what are we doing? Yeah. No.
I mean, if you want to be in a harness and say "strike me down," like that's your own business. But like, I agree, that was a lot. That was pretty far.
Oh, jeez.
Oh god.
Put the graphic content label on this one.
We're not on YouTube anymore. But yeah, I agree. I think Palpatine. You're right. I mean, you're right, Charles. He pushes pretty far, and I think without him pulling the strings, maybe like having someone else with that kind of raw dark side power seems to be decently rare. So I think there's a possibility that maybe the First Order doesn't have as much backing like that. We don't get that final Sith fleet from Exegol. Maybe Ben Solo stays light, and then Rey and him get that kind of like a light side dyad, which is maybe interesting. I think that could be kind of cool. So for content wise, I think you get more light side Jedi content, which is kind of cool. And galaxy wise, though, I don't know. Maybe you always need that super dark to balance. You know, Vic's Corner in the chat just said, "Does Ben Solo's story change if Palpatine does not come back?" And I think it has to. I think that once we found out he's been the voice in his head in the Rise of Kylo Ren comic as well as the films, he probably has a stronger sense of personal will.
Yeah, that's true.
But Rey is still a Palpatine.
Question number 4. I don't know. Come on now. Yeah, that's true. That doesn't validate the entire question. Rey is
Next question.
There was no father.
Next.
So number 4. This is one that we kind of almost get a hint at especially last season of Clone Wars. What if Anakin and Padme tell Obi-Wan about their marriage? What if they're open with it from the
Oh
start?
man, that's a good question.
I like this one.
That's a really good question.
Because I love you guys. Hold on, just close for a second, White Claw. All right, let's do it.
I love it when you open drinks in your microphone, Eric. It really gets me going.
Oh, I know. So yeah,
That's
same
a
stuff
fantastic
happens.
question. Okay,
They're
okay.
open with it.
All right, so they're open with it. In the Revenge of the Sith novelization, there's a lot of really good commentary on this because Obi-Wan and Padme have like this whole huge conversation. It's not even just implied. Like it's like Obi-Wan tells her to her face that he's known this whole time. Like that happens in the book, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
And we get a little bit of that with like Anakin as the father, isn't he? Like
Yes.
even in the film, like the hints are definitely there. You're right.
yeah, definitely there. But the question is, does it change things? I think that Obi-Wan would try to like make Anakin walk away from Padme.
Ooh.
And because I don't think Obi-Wan is capable of like turning away from the Order. I think Obi-Wan is a man of conviction. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, especially like post Satine, like he has that like if you would have asked, I would have walked away, but she didn't, and you think like that kind of closed the door on that possibility.
if nothing else, I think it may change. I don't know if it would keep Anakin from turning to the dark side, even honestly. Like because like I think that Obi-Wan would sit on the council and still throw him off out of the Jedi Order. I think he would. I think Obi-Wan would vote to cast Anakin out of the Jedi Order. I think he would.
All right,
So-
Charles, I gotta know Resident Obi-Wan, number one man. This is your sun and stars.
I think I largely agree with Corey, and I was kind of coming to the same conclusion. It's difficult though, and I think what I have to fall back on is even though Obi-Wan knew that Anakin had essentially fallen to the dark side by the time they face off on Mustafar. Spoiler alert.
Damn it.
He showed then and there that he really was choosing the Jedi Order over Anakin, even though it was a version of Anakin that he felt was he was alienated from, if that makes sense. I mean, he chose to go and strike down his best friend, his brother, essentially because it's what the Order needed to happen to maintain what balance in the Force or whatever it is, right? So that was his choice. I think, though, could he have avoided all of that in the first place? Might he have tried to get Anakin to walk away from the Order, et cetera? Kind of like you're mentioning. Maybe so, because he certainly loves Anakin, and he certainly seems to know what's going on to some degree. I don't know though. This one is so tough.
Do you think?
Because
Do you think Anakin maybe could have convinced Obi-Wan to leave the Order with him? Is there any chance? Could Anakin have reasoned with Obi-Wan because Obi-Wan like definitely recognized a lot of the problems like that were in the Jedi.
Yeah, I think actually before I go, Wes, I want to hear you. I cut you off for Charles. I have an idea on that, but Wes, I want to hear what you think.
Okay, so I was wondering after hearing Corey and Charles, who eventually, like, how does Anakin tell the Order? Does he tell the Jedi Council as a whole? Does he tell Obi-Wan in confidence, and then hopefully Obi-Wan doesn't say anything, or does
shit, that's a good question.
Who goes and tattles pretty much on Anakin?
For the purposes of this question, I'm basically thinking that like once Padme, at some point, Padme's always saying like and she says tell Obi-Wan.
Yes,
right?
let's
He
go
can
to
help
Obi-Wan.
us.
He could help us. Yes, they do
So
that.
essentially, Anakin takes that advice.
Yeah.
And he goes to him as a friend and says like, hey, I know that he says, I know you've known this. It is that I love the Order, but I love her, and I won't choose. And I think that's essentially what happened.
Okay.
Padme
So
is carrying my child.
It can be before that. We don't have to bring the child into it yet if it makes it a more interesting question. Because I think that's also that might make him lean a little more, but like it's just a marriage right now, that's a weird phrase, but you know what I mean?
So they confide in Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan tells the council, and it's Obi-Wan who has to tell him, listen, you're disbanded from the Order. You have to leave, because he's probably the only one that would listen to him without getting a lightsaber to the gut, right? Because they are just like y'all, they're like brothers. So.
Mm-hmm. I see. For me, I love this idea because to me, I see. So this is where the content stuff plays out, right? Because I think this is amazing content and scene work if this happens. So I think there's a possibility of Obi-Wan going to the council because this is during Clone Wars still. Like,
Right.
There's an act battle. Anakin, you cannot doubt he is the best fighter. He's the best general you got.
Yeah.
Right. He's the biggest asset the Jedi have at this point.
Other than
Especially, sure. But especially Corey, as you said, like with the Revenge of the Sith novelization, if you read that book, Anakin and Obi-Wan are the peak, right?
Mhm.
So I think there's definitely a possibility where Obi-Wan brings us to the council and says, "You can't expel the greatest warrior we have. Maybe we're wrong." I think that Obi-Wan maybe starts to work on them a little bit to be like, can we accept this? Maybe we've been too strict, and maybe the Jedi start to build themselves out of this hole that they're in.
Maybe. I don't
no,
think
I don't
so.
think it-
I think
That's
that
a lot of inertia, though.
It is.
behind
It's
too
the
much-
order and everything.
it's too much
I don't
inertia.
think one person. I don't think one person changes that.
That's right.
But,
I mean, we
but
have
I
Yoda
do-
and Mundi and Mace are all on the council, and those guys are
Yep.
stubborn as all hell.
Yeah,
That's true. That's true.
But I do think
Jedi
it's
Murphy brings out. So I want to mention in the chat, Jedi Murphy brought up a good idea. Would Padme be kicked out of the Senate? Because she mentions
Jedi?
that
Maybe.
for marrying a Jedi.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I feel like based on the Senate, I don't know. The Senate is made so corrupt in every piece of media that I think you can like murder whoever you want. As long as you don't get caught with blood on your hands, you're fine.
You have another
Yeah.
You're the
world. to
senator.
back
I will
you.
make it legal.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Lot Dodd didn't get kicked out, so I'm pretty sure Padme'd be fine.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. But yeah, cool. Yeah,
What were you gonna- what were
I
you gonna
love
say,
that question,
Charles?
'cause I-
oh,
Yeah, go ahead,
no,
man.
I was just gonna say, the more that I think about it, I do think that Obi-Wan would attempt to help Anakin in some way, but he would not. He wouldn't turn a blind eye once Anakin said to him, like, "Hey, this is happening. Like, what you suspect is happening." He couldn't let Anakin continue to be a Jedi and be in this relationship, but I do think he would try to help him. So
Yeah.
he would get him out of the order, and he would be there for him, and he would be there for Padme and the child, or the children, as we know. But he wouldn't let those two worlds continue to be happening in parallel.
Okay.
I
It's
would-
kind of like that the deserter episode of Clone Wars where we meet the clone that left and has the kid with the Twi'lek, right? And it's
Right.
like
Mhm.
so it's that kind of existence where Rex is like, I'm not gonna rat you out, but I know this is wrong. So that kind of thing where Obi-Wan is like, I'm not gonna tell them that they're on Naboo, but like Uncle Obi-Wan will come and visit and
Yep.
be cool.
Yeah.
And at the same time, Obi-Wan did defy the order whenever he went to Mandalore to go try to save Satine.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's
there
true.
actually is precedent for that, for when there's someone that he truly loves.
Loves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I would love to. I don't know how you could really do this in live action, but I would love to see that idea at least explored in the Obi-Wan show, like where maybe
Yeah,
he's
sure.
still struggling with this idea of like, what should I have done differently, and we don't yet know the timeline of the new Obi-Wan show. I don't know anything about it, but like, is it going to be like immediately after the
Yeah.
Revenge of the
Oh yeah,
Sith, or
it's right after Revenge of the Sith. I think
Okay.
they said it's basically the exact timeline of the Kenobi book.
okay, well that's
Okay.
like peak. That's the perfect place to see some of this stuff explored. I would love to see. I don't know how you could do it in live action. I mean, they would have to get Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman involved, I suppose. If I don't know, that would be very interesting though.
Do
That's one of my
Yeah,
favorite.
I'd love that.
That's one of my
Actually,
favorite questions.
Speaking of that, Corey, did you just get this news alert? They have a lot of money.
Yeah.
I just came through. They confirmed Star Wars has a truckload of cash. Yeah, so maybe it might work out.
Maybe. I would love to see Hayden Christensen brought to a project. I don't even care what it is. I just want to see his
Yeah.
face in something modern Star Wars, because I feel like the fan community owes it to him because he was treated so poorly after
Yeah.
after the
sure.
after the prequels. So I would really like to see him in something. Like, I don't care what it is. So
Agreed.
that'd be cool. And
Love it.
Natalie Portman still got it. I mean, she's still
Oh,
doing
yeah,
movies
she's
and stuff.
awesome.
She's done all kinds of high profile stuff now. So
She's incredible.
yeah, she's a great actress.
love the Natalie Portman. Love where we went on that. All right, couple, maybe one or two more. We're getting to the point, and we can do this forever, which is great. This is what Star Wars fans do. You talk about what ifs. What if Darth Bane, which is technically canon now, right? Because it's Clone Wars. What if Darth Bane doesn't establish the rule of two, and the Sith never totally collapsed and were secret for thousands of years? What if they were a continuous dark side presence? Does it make the Jedi stronger? Does it allow them not to be complacent? Or do you think that eventually so many dark side users would have overwhelmed them?
I think the fact that the Jedi don't have an enemy to stand against is what makes them weak in the prequel trilogy.
Ooh, that's a cool phrase.
Yeah, we see because they're all involved. The Jedi are their entire order developed around keeping peace and studying the Force and the balance of the Republic and defending the Republic and maintaining the order of the Republic. So that's what they feel like their role is during their time. Like while Mace Windu is alive and on the council, like his role as being on the Jedi Council is to defend the Republic, and the enemy of the Republic at the time is politics and dumb local stuff. There is no higher power to defend against. So, they invent an enemy if they don't have one. That's what they did. So that's why they're so caught up in the bureaucracy bullshit. So
maybe they're a little stronger. Maybe they actually become a better council if they have a united enemy. That's totally possible.
Well,
Charles West, what do you think?
There's certainly less bickery in the old books and stuff.
Yeah, because you got to argue with each other. You're right. If you can't unite, which is kind of like one of the things about the Clone Wars. Like they do unite against a common enemy.
Right.
So there's less of the politicizing. Charles West, thoughts?
You're going to have to reiterate the question.
What if Darth Bane doesn't establish the rule of two? And the Sith Empire stays going, and that storyline just goes from there.
I mean, there would essentially be two factions, but...
Two factions, too furious, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. But, and there'd be corruption in both. There would be pretty much both have the same struggles, right? But then there would be a theory of who's good and who's bad, right? Who's light and who's dark as different points of view of their society and the Jedi society. So I think it'd be way more complicated than just having.
Yeah, it's hard to.
Yeah,
it's really hard to even address because everything that we know about the saga is from that point. So
right. Well, it's funny because one of the other questions I had that I'm not going to do a full one because it kind of combines with this is what if Lucas set Star Wars at the beginning in the High Republic era? So if we started out with peace and the absence of darkness as opposed to the chaos of the Galactic Republic, like
what's interesting about that question is there is a thread between those two eras, and that's Yoda. And so we don't really, or at least I haven't seen anything about Yoda in the High Republic yet. Eric, I know you're working on some of the material already.
I ain't saying nothing except for pre-order.
Yeah, but I think it's really interesting to think about, like, how did the Jedi become what they are? And Yoda was kind of, at least had to be a driving force behind making those changes. So what led to those changes? And if there were Sith that he was seeing throughout that entire time period, would he have made those changes or not? And the question's impossible, but I really like what Corey had to say. I think that's probably true. I mean, the problem with the Jedi is that they didn't have Sith around. So
right.
I don't know. What would have happened with Palpatine if there was no rule of two? Would he have been in the position of power that he was?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Don't know.
And then Jedi Murphy brings up a good point. There isn't necessarily a lack of dark side just because there aren't Sith. There's still plenty of evil deeds in the galaxy. That's for sure, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we see that.
Yeah, people not using their turn signal, like all kinds of stuff.
Terrible things like that. But I think that's a great point. That's one of the big questions about human history too, is that, a common enemy does unite people, but also at what cost? And, there is I don't know. There is no complete answer. And I think that's one of the interesting things about the saga is that the more it expands with the High Republic, with the Old Republic, with the aftermath of the Civil War, with the prequel trilogy, the sequel trilogy, we see all kinds of different evolutions of light versus dark conflicts, and it's going to keep continuing. And if you want to see that continuation, you got to pre-order the High Republic books coming out in January. And it came back to that. And that's actually, you know what, I could talk with you guys for hours about questions like this, and we will. I think every once in a while we'll come back. We'll do an episode like this just to talk about Star Wars, which is hilarious because that's what we do every week. But if you're listening and this is the kind of stuff you want to hear more from, let us know. Head over to Discord. Give us some questions. Have some chats with us, because at the end of the day, we're just a bunch of friends that like Star Wars and like to talk about it. And I want to thank you guys for going on those journeys with me. And I'm now sad. I'm sad every day there's not more Qui-Gon content because of life, or lack thereof, I guess would be more accurate. But we have our imaginations. So as we end this show tonight, a couple updates for our audience. Next week, we will be going through, from a certain point of view, The Empire Strikes Back. This will be not our traditional roundtable. We will be instead going through our favorite stories. We'll be saying what ones we love the most, what kind of characters really hit us for different reasons. So if you haven't read the book and don't want to be spoiled, maybe read through a couple chapters before you listen to that one. Or if you've been meaning to get to it and you don't mind it, tune in next week. Week after that will be the Youtini Awards, where we will be awarding books and creators and scenes as voted on by our staff and the community. So tune into the video show for that one, especially. There may be funny suits. There may be funny gags. I don't know. It's been going on in Slack channels that I'm not a part of. And then after that, we do have the Youtini Christmas party on the 28th, where everyone from our team that is available will be hanging out. We'll be exchanging our Secret Santa gifts we get each other, just having a rollicking good fun time to end this year. That was long. It was a long year. So we're excited to celebrate there. And in the meantime, of course, head over to our Patreon feed, where you're getting, at this point, 7 shows being released periodically. Lightspeed Skipping is on hiatus, but there are 7 other unique shows, including this one, that are being released about everything from Legends to the modern canon to deep dives into weird, obnoxious content to friends chatting about literally anything to book clubs to Rebels. I'm really proud of everything the team is putting together over on there. So make sure you're subscribed to there for the next full year of amazing content we got coming your way. And lastly, for our last update, a shout out to James and our Youtini Fantasy League, because he locked in the #1 spot. James, I hate the Patriots. I'm jealous of you. But well done. The Youtini playoffs are coming. Wish me luck, everyone. I'm getting in there by the skin of my teeth. Thoughts and prayers appreciated. And on that note, my friends, that'll do it for this week's episode of The Living Force.